Okay, if you haven't received any email from no reply at sage1.my, also you can register for Sage Business Cloud Accounting by logging to our website pwholdings.lk. And you can click free trial. You can enter your details. If you are in Asia, you can select Malaysia. You can enter your company name, first name, last name, mobile number, email address and password, and enter this access code. And you can select, these are not optional. You can select any Excel or, and like this, you can select that what you currently use and uses years in business, and tick this I accept the terms and condition and sign up. Then again you will receive a mail from Sage Business Cloud Accounting, and you can confirm and you can log into the system. Okay, you can type accounting.sage1.asia, and you need to enter your email address and password, and you can log into the system. Okay, like that, you can register for that Sage Business Cloud Accounting trial version. And then we will move to how to set up your company settings. Okay, go to company, change company settings. Okay, from here you can enter your company details. First, company details, your company name, telephone number, fax number, mobile, contact name, and postal address and physical address. And there are few options. First one is actually Sage Business Cloud Accounting has special feature. If you are your invoices, quotations, sales orders, or receipts, you can directly email to your customers. Okay, and if you are sending emails, there are two options. Email, use this email for communication, and use no reply accounting.sage1my as from address. Okay, if you tick first option, your all communication emails sent from this email address. And if you select second option, those email will send as no reply at accounting.sage1.my. Okay, and if you want to send your company emails from your company name, you can use this. You can enter email address here. Then that receiver can view your email address. Then there will be a CC. Now, for an example, if your company owner wants to view, or he wants to get a copy of each email you are sending to customers or suppliers, so you can you have that owner has that option. If you want to CC to any other email address, you can type this email address, and you can tick this option, always CC this email address. Okay, then when you are sending an email, this email owner also get an copy. Then after you enter these details, you can save. Now you can enter that you can enter dummy details for your company. Okay, you can take a couple of minutes, and you can enter your company details. Okay, next we'll move to additional company information. From here, you can enter statutory information of your company. First, company tax number. If you are a VAT registered company, you may have a VAT number. That VAT number you can enter here. Okay. Then you can enter your company registered name, registration number. Then tax office means if you are paying tax, you are normally pay to Inland Revenue. So that details you can enter here. Then entity type, that is whether your company is a company limited by guarantee, foreign company, limited liability partnership, private limited, public limited, or sole proprietor. From this drop down menu, you can select your entity type. Then you can add your additional company information such as your company city, state, country. Then major industry codes. Actually, this major industry code not using in Sri Lanka, especially in US and other countries use, and they have different code for different industries. And at the moment, Sri Lanka is not using that industry code. And if you are available, you can add industry code from here. You can add code description. And if you want to add any codes, by clicking this plus mark, you can add codes. Okay. After enter this additional company information, you can save. Okay. Now you can enter in your company statutory information. And one more thing, when you are entering these company details and additional information, when you are designing your invoice layouts or your quotation purchase order layouts, you can directly pick those details from this company details and additional company details. In additional company information, these details you can directly link to the invoice layout. We will discuss when we are doing that designing part. And if you want, you can record this lecture series. Okay, next we will move to customer zone. Customer zone is actually it's an additional feature of Sage Business Cloud Accounting. Now, when you are sending emails, I'll show you example. Okay, after you enter an invoice, you can directly email your invoices, quotations, or sales orders to customer. So when you are sending an email, with that email, there will be a link. So customer can click that link and they can view that customer invoices, quotations, sales orders, customer receipts, and they can view their outstanding statement or customer statement. So this option is first, you can enable customer zone by ticking this tick box. Okay, if you are tick this customers enable your accounting customer zone, your customers can view their statement online. Okay, if you are untick that customers cannot view their statements. So first, if you are enable your customers on, then there are two options, invoice and quotes. If you take this option, your customers can view only invoices and quotations only. And second option is invoices and account history. And if you select this option, your customers can view their invoices, sales orders, receipts, customer statement, and outstanding invoices, all the transactions they can view. Okay, and first, if you want to enable your customers on, you can tick this option. Then customers can view, and especially they are not logged into a system. When you are sending email, invoice, quotation, or sales order, with that email you can send a link. By clicking that link, customer can log into that customer zone. There's no any password or login details. Just click that link. They can go to customer zone and they can view their invoices and account history. Then display name. From here, you can enter that what is the name you want to display in your customer zone. If you enter this name, that name will display in the customer zone. Okay, I'll repeat it again. You can send your invoices, quotations, sales orders, receipts to the directly email to the customer. With that email, you can send a link to the customer. By clicking that link, customer can log into that customer zone and they can view their invoices, quotations, sales orders, receipts, and account transactions. To enable that accounting customer zone, you need to tick here, and there are two options. First one, invoices and quotes only. If you tick this option, customer can view only invoices and quotations. And if you select second option, invoices and account history, the customer can view invoices, quotations, receipts, and account transactions. Okay, then display name. If you type any name here, that name will display in the customer zone. Right. Okay, after change these settings, you can save. There's a question, industry codes not shown in my window. Others, how about others? Actually, it's not required. Sometimes it's not relevant to Sri Lanka. Ms. Nilmini, it's in your screen. Can you view that industry code?
Please wait, Mr. Chandran.
Okay. How about others? You can view industry code screen.
Mr. Shanna, I also cannot see that.
Uh, okay, we will check that one. And okay, next we will move to, we will check and let you know.
Okay.
uh, okay, right. Okay, then next we will move to general settings. First, financial years. Now from here you can enter, you can create your financial years. Now first, in financial year start date, you can start, you can enter that financial year start date, and in financial year end date you can enter financial year end date. Okay, sometimes actually mostly most companies use April to March, 1st of April to 31st of March. Some companies may use the 1st of January to 31st December. According to your company requirement, you can create your financial year from here. Okay, you can select the end date, sorry, start date and end date. And you can add any number of financial years from by clicking this add, by clicking this plus mark. Okay, and if your financial year start from 1st of April, you can select that into that 1st of April date and financial year. Then if your company financial year date is March 31st, you can select enter that 31st March of and financial year. And I'll explain, there are two situations. First one, you may implement the system for all company, or you may implement the system for new company. If you are implementing the system for new company, you can directly, now for an example, if you are implementing new system, we can enter financial year as 31st 1st April uh, 2020, we can enter here, and financial year end date as 31st March 2021. Okay, if you are uh, implementing the system for new company and your financial year is April to March, you can enter here financial year start date as 1st April 2020, and financial year end date as 31st March 2021. Then if you are implementing the system for all company, then there may be some opening balances such as customer outstanding, supply outstanding, those things also available. In that case, for an example, you are implementing the system this year, and sometimes your customers has outstanding from 2017 and 2018, like that. There may be some old outstanding invoices. In that case, if you want to maintain those outstanding period from actual date, you need to create financial year from that oldest outstanding invoice date. For an example, uh, if your customer has outstanding in 2017, in that case, you need to create financial year from here, 2017 April, and you need to continue that year frequently, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, you need to create because you have very old outstanding invoices. And you can enter here 2017 1st of April, then you can add another year from here, and you can enter the next year. Likewise, you can change that date, and you can enter, you can add financial years. Okay, then I'll talk a little bit about the practical situation. In some system, you need after the financial year, there may be some year-end processes. You need to take backups, and you need to close that financial year. But in Sage Business Cloud Accounting, there's no such year-end processes. After your financial year ends and next day you log into the system will ask, do you want to create a new financial year? When that message pop-ups, you can click OK, and you can create new financial year. Or else you can manually create financial year by clicking this plus mark. Okay, like this you can create financial years, and you can tick to current financial year. So now we are in 2021 financial year, therefore you need to tick current financial year. Then lockdown date. Now if you tick set a lockdown date, and if you select a date prior to that period, you cannot enter, your users cannot enter any transaction prior to this date. Okay, setting a lockdown date means that no transaction can be processed or edited with a date up to and including this date. Okay, now for control purpose, you can set a lockdown date. Then your users cannot enter or edit any transaction prior to this date. Okay, especially after completing financial audits, you can set a lockdown date, and prior to this date, your users cannot enter any transaction or edit any transaction. Okay, after create financial years, you can save, and now you can take few minutes and you can create a few financial years, and you can set a lockdown date.
Excuse me, Mr. Chandan. We cannot hear you.
Okay, sorry. Now, normally in Sri Lanka, most companies use January, April to March financial year, and some companies or some countries may use January to December, and some countries use October to September. And according to your company requirement, you can set up your financial year. Okay. Next, we will move to rounding. From here, you can round up, round down, normal rounding your company transaction amount. You can select round up from here you can select and type that rounding to nearest. Okay, then your values will be round according to this setup. Okay, if you don't want to rounding up or round down, you can select no rounding, then actual figures will display in the transactions. Then we will move to regional settings. From here, you can enter your quantity decimal places, rupee values, and hourly decimal places, currency symbol, and date format. I'll show you an example. Now, first one is quantity decimal places. Now here quantity decimal places is 2. Now from here you can view there are 2 decimal places available for quantity, and you can set these changes from these quantity decimal places. Now for an example, if you are using you are selling or you are in a trading industry and you are selling in kilos, you might need to use that 3 decimal places. For an example, that kilo has 3 decimal places for grams. In that case, you can enter 3 here, then system will display 3 decimal places here. And if you are in service industry, sometimes they may not use decimal places. In that case, you can set quantity decimal places as 0, then there's no decimal places for quantity. Then value decimal places. If you enter here 2, then that transaction line, there are 2 decimal places, and if you want to increase or decrease decimal places, you can set up from here. And if you don't want to show cents in these transactions, you can set value decimal places as 0, then it will display only this rupee value only, without if you don't want to show this cents value, you can set value decimal places to 0, then you can view only rupee value only, and that rounding will be happen according to this rounding settings. Next one is hours decimal places. Now there's another option, time tracking. This time tracking module mostly used for security companies and service industry companies. From here you can enter your timesheet, your workers timesheet. For an example, if you are in a security industry, you can enter your that security officers working times. From here you can enter. Then from these settings you can set that now here this timesheet you can enter hours and minutes also. Now from these settings you can set if you want to show minutes you can enter 2 decimal places, and if you want to show only hours you can make this as 0. Then here timesheet it will only show hours only. Okay, like this you can set decimal places from these regional settings. Then next one is currency symbol. Now sometimes your company may use rupees or RS, or sometimes you may use LKR. From here you can set whether you want LKR or RS, and if you set LKR you can view your transaction as LKR. If you enter rupees or RS here, system will display RS here. Okay, and there are 3 date formats, DD, MM, YYY. Here, if you want to display date first, month second, year last, you can select this option. Or second option is year first, month second, last date. Then third option, month first, date second, and year last. According to your company requirement, you can select that date format. And also please when you are enter this currency symbol, please enter only that letters. Don't make enter any spaces or dots here. Sometimes there may be system errors will occur. Therefore please enter letters only, that LKR or rupees RS only. Don't enter spaces or full stop here. Okay, when you are implementing the system, please enter only letters here. Now you can enter your regional settings. Okay, next we will move to customer and supplier settings. First option is warn when duplicate customers or customer reference used on customer invoices. That means when you are entering customer invoices, you can enter customer invoice reference number here. Okay, now first option is warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoices. Then if you tick on this option, system will pop up and message you are entering duplicate customer reference. Now you can enter customer reference here, and if you are entering same customer reference for another transaction, system will think this is a mistake. So by mistake, and you are entering same reference number, therefore system will pop up and message you are entering duplicate customer reference number. Now sometimes your company or your customers may send same customer reference number. In that case, you can untick this option, then system will not pop up any message. So if your customer sends same reference number for different invoices, you can untick this option. Or if you want to get an alert, if you are by mistake entering same customer reference, you can tick this option, then system will pop up a message. Okay, you are entering a duplicate customer reference number. Then second one is warn when duplicate supplier invoice number used on supplier invoices. Now you can enter supplier invoices from here. And you can enter supplier invoice number here. Now if you are by mistake, or now normally particular customer will not issue same invoice number twice. Therefore now if you are entering same supplier invoice number, system will think it's a mistake, so therefore system will pop up a message. So if you don't want to pop up message, you can untick this option. Or if you want to get an alert, you are entering same, or you are entering duplicate supplier invoice number, you can tick this option. Okay. Third one is display inactive customers for selection when processing. Now sometimes after doing some transactions, sometimes you are not selling to particular customer. Sometimes they are not paying properly, or due to any other reasons, sometimes you are not, or you want to block customers for invoicing. In that case, you can inactive those customers. Okay, I'll show you now. This is A0101 customer. Now this customer, if you untick this option, active option, that customer will inactive. So this third one is display inactive customers for selection when processing. That means if you inactive any customer, and if you want to display that customer for when processing transactions, you can tick this option. Now for an example, normally if you are blocking any customer or inactive any customer, you don't want to process in transaction for that customer, in that case you can untick this option. Or if you want to select, you want to display those inactive customers when processing transaction, you can tick this option. Okay, now for an example, this customer is inactive. We will go to tax invoice, and we will enter some invoices for that customer. Now here that customer is not shown. Okay, that A0101 customer not shown because we have unticked this option, display inactive customers for selection when processing. We inactive this customer, and that customer will not shown in this drop down menu because we have unticked this option. Okay, then next one is display inactive suppliers for selection when processing. Same thing. You can inactive some suppliers. For an example, that sometimes you are purchasing some supplier, but later you identified that supplier's prices is high. So in that case, you decided to not to purchase from supplier, and you inactive that supplier. Okay, that from this fourth option, you can inactive. You can set that those display inactive suppliers for selection when processing. If you untick this option, those inactive suppliers not shown for supplier transactions such as supplier invoices, supplier purchase orders, those transactions, you cannot select those suppliers. And if you tick this option, you can view when you are processing transaction for that suppliers. Now I'll inactive this supplier AA. Now that a space a supplier will not display. Okay, like that. You can, if you want to block or block that displaying when processing transaction, you can untick here. Then next one is display inactive customers for selection on reports. Now sometimes you may inactive some customers, but you want to display those customers transactions in reports. Okay, when you are generating reports, now here I'll show you. Now this A0101 customer inactive. If it is active customer, you can see a tick here. This customer is inactive, therefore no tick here. And now this option is display inactive customers for selection on reports. Now when you are click on this drop down menu, you can see that this customer, this inactive customer, you can see. Now this option display inactive customers for selection on reports. If you tick this option, inactive customers also you can view in the reports, and if you don't want to display, you can untick this option. If it is unticked, inactive customers will not display in the reports. Then next one is display inactive suppliers for selection on report. Same thing. It apply for suppliers. Now you can inactive any supplier. Now A is inactive. So, and if you now here you can see this AA supplier available, but when you are doing transaction, that supplier will not display in the drop down menu. So those things you can set from here. If you want to block any customer and not allowed to process transaction, you can set from here. Okay, next one is use inclusive processing on customer supply document by default. Now, this is if you enter any transaction. Now here you can view here exclusive amount, that is without tax amount. And if you want to enter your transactions inclusive amount, that means with tax amount, you can tick this option, then system will display inclusive amounts. Okay, I'll show you. Now here exclusive, I'll refresh the screen. Now you can see this is exclusive price changed to inclusive price. If you untick this option, again it will change to exclusive price. Now for an example, you are maintaining your prices in exclusive, and if you want to system to calculate that tax, you can use this exclusive price. Or if your pricing has done inclusive amounts, you can select inclusive method. Okay, and also sometimes now for an example, that VAT rate also may be changed time to time. So in that case, if you are set your prices, you can enter your price list from here. We will discuss that apart. And if you set your prices in exclusive amount, even though your tax rate change, the system will calculate the correct pricing. Okay, now for an example, if you are entered inclusive prices, if the tax rate change, you need to change that selling prices. Therefore it's better if you can maintain exclusive prices, then even though your tax rate change, you don't want to change that exclusive prices. Okay, or even that when you are processing the transaction time also, you can change that inclusive or exclusive by ticking and unticking here. Okay, now you can see inclusive price. If you untick this option, you can view as exclusive price. Okay, if you use exclusive price, system will display without tax amount, and if you tick inclusive amount, system will display with tax amount. And also if you change any setup here, you need to save this, and after that only it will apply for this transaction or that report. Okay, if you change this, you need to save, and you go to next screen and you need to refresh, then only it will apply for the transaction. Okay, next one, use account as default document line type selection. Okay, are you clear that customer up now? Are you okay? Any comments? Speed is okay? Okay, if you have any questions, you can message from this chat box. Okay, and also that if I explain now, most accounting softwares are very similar in structure and processes. And if you study any accounting software properly, you can work in any accounting software. Actually, mostly more than 60-70% structure and process are very similar. So if you study properly in one software, you can work in any software. Okay, therefore, if you have any doubts, please ask and clear your doubts. Actually, since this is online course, we cannot properly get your feedback. Therefore, if you have any questions or if you need any more clarifications, please message or you can ask. Okay, last one is use account as default document line selection. Now, when you are processing, when you are entering customer invoice or supply invoices, you can here type as item. Now, many companies, or if you are selling, you are in trading business, you can, if you type is there, you can select that inventory items. And if you tick on this option, use account as default document line type selection, you can select that GL accounts. Now, for an example, if you are in accounting services, you can directly enter your income into that GL account, sales account. Okay, and if you are in trading business, you can select, you can set type as item, then you can view inventory items from here. Then from here, use account as default document line type selection. If you tick off this option, you can view type as item. And if you untick this option, you can see type as item. If you tick this option, account will display here. We will save and see. Now this has changed to type, change to account. Then from here you can select your GL accounts from here. If you untick this option, you can view inventory items. Okay, I'll go through briefly. First one, warn when duplicate customer reference used on customer invoice. That means if you take this option, if you are entering duplicate customer reference numbers when you are processing customer transactions, system will pop up and message you are entering duplicate customer reference numbers. Then second one is warn when duplicate supply invoice number used on supply invoices. When you are entering supply invoices, you can enter supply invoice number here, and if you are entering duplicate supply invoice number, system will pop up and message you are entering duplicate invoice number. If you want to get an alert, you can tick this option. If you don't want to get an alert, you can untick these options. Then next one is display inactive customers for selection when processing. And if you untick this option, your inactive customers will not display for processing transaction. That means for quotations, sales orders, invoices, those inactive customers will not display. If you tick this option, that inactive customers also display in the transactions. Fourth one, display inactive supplier for selection when processing. That means if you inactive any supplier, those suppliers will not display when processing transaction such as supplier purchase order, supply invoices, those transactions. Inactive customers, inactive suppliers will not display. If you tick this option, those inactivated suppliers also display. Next one, display inactive customers for selection on reports. And if you tick this option, inactivated customers also will display, because it's better if you tick this option, because we need inactivated customers transactions for the reports. And if you untick this, those inactivated customers transactions will not display for reports. Okay. Next one, display inactive supplier for selection on reports. If you inactivated any supplier, if you tick this option, those suppliers also will display for reports. And if you untick this option, inactivated suppliers will not display for reports. Okay. Next one, use inclusive processing on customer supply document by default. If you untick this option, exclusive amount will display in the transaction screen. And if you tick this option, inclusive amount will display. That is, with tax amount will display in the screen. Then last one, use account as default document line by type selection. If you untick this option, type item will display as type. And if you tick this option, account will show as type. If it is a type, you can, from this selection, you can select only inventory items. And if you select account as type, from here you cannot select inventory items, you can select only GL accounts. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, next we will move to item settings. First one, warn when item quantities fall below 0. Now, sometimes when you are invoicing, you may not have items in the system. For an example, now if you have particular item has only 3 quantities, but you are going to invoice for 5. In that case, the system will warn when item quantity is below 0, because you have only 3, you are going to invoice for 5. In that case, system will pop up a message that quantities fall below 0. Now, second one is, do not allow item quantities fall below 0. If you tick on this option, you cannot process those transactions. Now, if you tick this option, first one, warn, it's only warning, but you can process the transaction. Okay, but if you select tick on second option, you cannot process the transaction. Okay, and also you cannot tick both. Either you need to select either one. Okay, either first one or second one. And if you tick first option, if you have three, system will allow to process the transaction even quantities fall below 0. System only display a message. But if you tick second option, system will not allow to process the transaction. Okay, now for an example, if you have 3 quantities, you are going to invoice for 5. If you tick first option, you can process the transaction. But if you tick second option, you can invoice only for 3. Okay, because you have 3, you can invoice only for 3. Next one, third one, warn when item cost is 0. Now, when you are entering purchase orders or supplier invoices, system will pick up those costs for to the system as item cost. Okay, when you are purchasing, when you are entering GRN, system will identify this item's cost is this much. So when you are processing any transaction, if when you are entering customer invoices, if that cost is 0, system will make an alert, because system will think you haven't entered that item purchase price, therefore it will be a mistake. Okay, therefore system will warn when item cost is 0. And if you are untick this, the system will not warn to you, and system will not show any message. Okay, if you want to get an alert, you can tick this option. Then fourth one, warn when selling price is below cost. Now most probably your selling prices above the cost. Okay, now if you are selling your items below the cost, if you tick this option, system will warn. And if you untick, system will not consider it's an error, and you can process the transaction. Okay, fourth option is warn when item selling price is below cost. Normally we are selling above the cost price, therefore system will think it's a mistake. So if you want to get an alert, if you are selling prices below the cost, you can tick this option. Okay, next one, display inactive items for selection on document lines. It's like that customer supply inventory, customer supplier when we are processing transaction. If you untick this option, now I'll show you how to inactivate an item. If you are discontinue a particular item, you can inactive that item from here. If you untick this option, that item will inactive. And if you untick this option, display inactive items for selection on document lines, when you are processing a transaction, that item will not display. Okay, if you take this option, inactive items also displaying when processing transaction. But if you untick this option, inactivated items will not display for processing transaction. Okay, next one is display inactive items for selection on reports. And if you have inactivated any items when you are generating reports, now here display inactive items for selection on reports, I have unticked this option, therefore it will not display for reports. If you tick this option, inactivated items will display for reports. It's very similar to that customer and supplier inactive items. Then next one is sales order reserved item quantities. Okay, now from system you can enter customer quotations, sales orders, tax invoices. Okay. Now sometimes your customers will send purchase orders. At that time you are entering sales order and you want to reserve those quantities for that particular customer. And if you tick this option, those sales order items will reserve for customers. Okay, quantity reserved. This option will be disabled if sales orders exist in the company. And if you tick this option, those sales orders quantities will reserve for that customers. Okay, if you want to reserve any sales order quantities for a customer, please tick. And if you don't want to reserve quantities, you can untick this option. Okay, and next one, display inactive item bundles for selection on document lines. I'll quickly go through that bundle items. Actually, you can get a better understand about when you are doing the transactions, or you are creating master files. But I'll quickly go through these bundle items. Now, for an example, when you are selling computers, in computers there may be mouse, keyboard, speakers, system unit, like that. There are many parts. Okay, you can create. From here, you can set what are the components of a particular item and what is the quantity. And when you are going to invoicing, or when you are entering a quotation, if you select this item, all other components also display in the invoice. I'll show you an example. Now I'll enter quotation. Now I'll select computer here. First select bundle, then computer, then all other parts also will display in the screen. Okay, now I have select only COM001, but other parts also display in this screen. Okay, now from here, display inactive item bundles for selection on document line. That means if you are inactivated any bundle item, if you untick this option, that bundle item will not display in the screen. Okay, when you are processing transaction, those inactivated bundle items will not display in the document lines. If you tick this, inactivated items also will display in the document lines. Then use perpetual inventory system. Actually, this is a add-on module. There are few add-on modules. Add-on means actually system, general system has some features, and if you want to add more features, those are the add-on modules. you can activate those add-on modules from here. Okay, next session we will discuss how to increase your number of users or number of companies and licenses. Now here, use perpetual inventory. If you tick this option, you can view your inventory items, and you can get valuation reports for that perpetual inventory system. And also before this, sometimes you cannot see this use perpetual inventory. Next session we will activate that option. Okay. Then time tracking setting. From here also, this option is, if you activated this option, display inactive projects for selection on document lines, then those inactivated lines will not display for projects. And also you can set a lockdown date for that transaction entering period. Okay, when we are entering that financial year also, we have set lockdown date. Same way for time tracking also, you can set a lockdown date. Okay, next one is outstanding balances. Now in your system, there may be monthly tick, and if you tick on this option for when you are generating that outstanding report, now you can generate outstanding report as age analysis, current, 30 days, 6 days, 90 days, 120 days. Now there are two, actually if you take this monthly option, that customer outstanding will calculate from end of the month. Okay, now for an example, you are entering 20th of January, 21st of January, one particular invoice. Now if you take this option, that outstanding will calculate end of that particular month. For an example, now if you are invoicing January 21st, and system will calculate from 1st of February. Okay, it will calculate that age analysis as 1st of January, 1st of February, and if you untick this option, actual date will calculate. Okay, if you tick this option, system will calculate that invoices after end of the month. It will calculate the number of days, but if you untick this option, system will calculate correct actual number of days. Okay, then next one is age, aging based on due date or invoice date. Now for an example, when you are creating customer, you can enter credit period for that customer. Okay, from here you can add a customer, you can enter credit period for here, due date for payment. And now if you run aging based on due date, system will consider that invoice plus that now for here, for an example, I'll enter 30 days for that credit period. Now if you select invoice dates, when you are generating the aging analysis, it's calculate the correct actual number of days. But if you select run aging based on due date, and then system will calculate age analysis as invoice days plus this due date. For an example, if you are enter any invoice 1st of January and your credit period is 30 days, and for aging analysis it will calculate from 31st of January, because you have 30 days due date for that invoice. But if you select this run aging based on invoices, system will calculate outstanding from 1st of January. Okay, there are two options. First one, invoice days. If you select this option, system will calculate actual days from the for an example, first to invoice, 1st of January you invoice, then system will calculate out, it will calculate number of days from 1st of January. And if you select run aging based on due date, now if you are giving any credit period, for this example we have given 30 days, system will calculate age analysis from 30th January. Okay, you have invoice 1st of January and you have 30 days credit period. System will calculate age analysis from 30th January. Okay, there are two options. Mostly companies use invoice date, but if you want to consider that credit period, customer credit period, and generate the report, you can select due date. Or if you want to get age analysis as actual invoice date, then you can select this invoice date. Okay, are we clear? First, if you tick on this monthly, system will calculate end of that particular calendar month. But if you are untick this option, system will calculate from actual number of days. And if you are generating the age analysis, there are two options, invoice date and due date. If you select invoice date, it will not consider that credit limit, credit period of that customer. And if you select due date, system will generate the report considering that number of credit period days. Okay. According to your company requirement, you can change these settings. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, next we will move to personal information. Now, actually this is only requirement due to Data Protection Act. From here, you can select number of days, number of years, your retention period, that customer supplier details, and you can select how many years you are keeping that customers or suppliers data, and you can enter reason why you are keeping these details. So it's you can select any number of days, and also after this particular period also you can increase that number of years, and nothing will happen to your saved data. This is only due to Data Protection Act, and you can select any number of years, and you can enter any reason for why you are keeping years. Normally in Sri Lanka, I think 5 years we need to keep all records. So you can select here, if you want, you can select 5 years, and you can enter reason as audit. And if you want keep more period, you can select 10 years and you can enter reason. This is only because of Data Protection Act. Okay, then we will move to tax settings. if you are a tax registered company, you can select that invoice based GST. And if you are a not tax registered company, you can select no tax. Then all tax will be disappear. From here, if you are a tax registered company, for demo purposes, for training purposes, I select this invoice based GST. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience, some internet connection issue. So are you clear? You can hear, right? Okay, from here you can create tax rate by clicking this plus mark. You can add tax rate and you can enter that tax rate, tax name, and you can enter the rate here. Okay, like this, you can create tax rate. And if you want to remove any tax rate, by clicking this red color button, you can delete tax rate. Okay, from here you can, by clicking this green color button, you can add tax rate and you can enter the tax name and tax rate. And from this default, if you are using mostly currently, actually VAT rate is 80, therefore you can set as default tax rate. Okay, default tax rate, you can stick from here, and you can add or remove any tax rate from here. And under tax details, you can enter tax number, and you can enter that last tax period end date and last tax submission date and tax period frequency. If you are paying tax quarterly, you can enter 3. And if you are entering, if you are paying taxes monthly, you can enter 1 here. Okay, and this tax system, invoice-based SST is not relevant for Sri Lanka. The second option, invoice-based GST, relevant for Sri Lanka. And if you are not tax registered company, you can select no tax. And if you are tax registered company, you can select this invoice-based GST. Okay, and after you create tax rate, you can save. Okay. From here, we can create tax rates. And if you are a tax module, if you are activated, you can view that tax rate from when you are processing transactions. Okay, from here you can select that tax types. Now this system will display that the selling price is below the cost price. We discuss when you are doing that item setting. Okay, now it will calculate the tax as 8%. Okay, like this, you can add tax rate. Now, currently tax rate is 8%. If in the future government change the tax rate, you can add, or you can yeah, probably you need to add new tax rate, and you can enter name and tax rate here, and you can create a new tax rate. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, are you convenient without a break? Is it okay? No, it's only 2 hours, so without a break we can continue. So we will wind up for today, and if you have any questions, you can ask, and we will share some user manuals with you in next session. And if you want to practice, you can create a new company. You can log into our website www.pwholdings.lk, and you can register for new company, and from the same email address you cannot create another company. If you have different email address, you can register from that different email address. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. Or else we will wind up for today. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.